You said it was like that. It was an intense pain.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love that you shared that with me, Aaron, because it's so cool to know uh, that I can relate to you in that way. Especially since, like, when I tell this story, even to this day, I see people kind of chuckle, and it's like, hey, man, I'm just telling the truth. I don't know how to better explain it to you, but yeah, to your point, from what I recall, was there was like some, not some inflammation, but some like dry, patchy skin on my elbow, which is where the surgeries happened and everything like that. So that's where the infection started, right? And it spread from there. But there was like some flaky skin, and the skin felt weird. It was almost like kind of like taut in this specific area, just kind of odd. I go to bed, and the next thing I know, it's I don't know, 3, 4 a.m., something like that. And my arm feels hot and heavy, and I felt like I had just been ran over by a bus. And I thought initially that I had slept on my arm wrong, because I don't know if you've ever like fallen asleep in a weird position and you just like wake up because the pain of that
Mm-hmm.
joint is so bad. And but when you stretch it out, you start to get that relief almost immediately. Well, that wasn't happening. And so I jumped out of bed, and I realized I felt like my whole body, like I had this intense fever, and I was like, I could feel my skin was clammy, and I was like, well, I better put some clothes on and figure out what's going on. And so my wife wakes up, she hears the rustling, and she says, what's going on? And I said, something's going on with my arm. I said, I have a fever in it. Like, I feel like I have a fever in it. And she still, she still makes fun of me to this day about that. But like, that was just how I described it, the natural way to describe it, because that's what it felt like. Like, my elbow felt like it was like a big flaming ball, and there was like a huge fever there. And so fast forward, it's progressing probably like, minute by minute. And so by the time I get dressed and I get downstairs, I relate with you, Aaron. It was the most intense, hands down, right? I have broken so many bones, collarbones, wrists, ankles, had concussions, eaten some pretty bad explosions. Like, man, a lot of stuff. And I will tell you, to this day, it was the most intense pain I ever felt. So much so that, it's funny, you did something super rational, like call 911. I probably should have done that sooner. Where my mind went to is I was bent over, hunched over on our counter, and I was like praying to God that it would just end. I wanted my life to end. And that right there was sort of the wake up call, because I was like, what is going on? If I'd been struggling with depression, or I'd been feeling like this leading up to that, I get it. But I was not. I was not in that sort of mindset. And so to feel a pain so intense that those were the thoughts that were running through my mind was weird, to say the least. And so yeah, that was the point that I was like, all right, we're going to the ER. Like, something's, but you're fighting it the whole time because it's an infection. So it's like, it's not like there's not like a big gash or like blood running out of my arm, or it's not broken, or so it's like you question yourself, or at least that's what I did. That's why I did. I was like, maybe it's COVID. I don't know if I did or didn't ever have COVID. I never confirmed it. At least I know that much. And so I was like, well, maybe it's COVID. And then I thought to myself, like, I don't know. People don't describe COVID as this bad. So like, am I being a wuss? Like, all sorts of funny thoughts.